Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 356 based on novel. So let's start. Primal Chaos City was the human race's land for cultivation. One look at those ancient buildings, and there would usually be human great beings sitting cross-legged on the rooftops of the cultivation residences. The atmosphere was always filled with the strong aura of cultivation. Universe level? Luo Feng swooped down from a high altitude and saw the human great beings on the rooftops of the cultivation residences. There were some who had only reached the universe level. This bit of power, and they are allowed into Primal Chaos City? Could they be participants from the previous War of Talents? Some of the cultivators who were looking up at the sky to study the explicit display of secret engravings of universe laws caught sight of Luo Feng and recognized him in an instant. Look, it's Sir Luo Feng. It's Sir Luo Feng. Having gained fame within such a short time, Luo Feng might have been the most sensational figure among the human race in the past 100,000 years. It was similar to how many of these cultivators did not know of the ancient Heaven Erosion Palace Master and some others. If, trillions of years ago, these individuals had died or been annihilated, and every piece of information pertaining to Luo Feng had been set to extremely high-level access rights, then many would naturally not know of Luo Feng. At best, they might have very limited information about him. But as of now, Luo Feng was the most prominent one. Is that Sir Luo Feng from the legendary Wall of Talents that took place 110,000 years ago? Yes, that's Sir Luo Feng. During the War of Talents that took place 110,000 years ago, there were three rare geniuses, of which Bolan and Rongjun achieved breakthroughs to become undying beings, and they are now emperors. Sir Luo Feng was said to have reached the levels of Sector Lord and Universe Knight way earlier than the others. So impressive. I heard that even Universe Knights have been annihilated by Sir Luo Feng. Those young fellows who were only at the Universe level were getting emotional. The way they looked at Luo Feng was even more awe-filled than how Luo Feng and his peers had looked at Sir Nineblade back then. After all, Luo Feng had emerged onto the scene only 110,000 years ago during the War of Talents. Plus, his fame and the various rumors about him were much more than those of Sir Nineblade. But these undying Sector Lords, Domain Masters and Universe-level beings were all pretty low on the social scale, so the stories about Luo Feng killing some Universe Overlords were unknown to them. If they ever caught wind of that news, they would have been rendered speechless. Such high-level information would only be known by the Universe Knights. In addition, some of the undying emperors who were usually quite well-informed might have caught wind of it. Generations of participants in the War of Talents are continually emerging. The number of great beings among the humans is increasing as well. Luo Feng looked down and revealed a trace of a smile. Then with a great leap forward, he speedily made his way to City Leader Palace. Luo Feng entered the City Leader Palace and connected to the virtual universe with his conscious mind. Because news about the closing of the virtual universe had been disseminated previously, this was the first time he had made a connection after the opening of the virtual universe. The moment he connected, Virtual Helper Barbata, the subsidiary intelligence helper, promptly informed Luo Feng, 882,901 messages, 9,010 telephone requests, 106 important messages, 11 important telephone requests. So much mail. Luo Feng was walking in the City Leader Palace while scanning through his mail with his consciousness. He opened the message, and with his consciousness revolving rapidly, he finished looking through all his mail within only a short time. Other than Primal Chaos City Leader, the other three Universe Masters have contacted me too, especially Huge Axe Creator. He actually contacted me. Luo Feng's eyes flashed with a hint of surprise. The three Universe Masters and Huge Axe Creator had each sent a mail message to him, and the messages were the same, a simple congratulatory mail. The messages looked simple, but when it came to their status, these were from Universe Masters and a Universe Supreme Being. To receive messages from them was simply extraordinary. I should write a letter to thank them. Without further ado, Luo Feng replied to the three Universe Masters and Huge Axe Creator with a thank you letter. After settling all these, Luo Feng put up a request to contribute a true treasure to his race. To enter that side palace of City Leader Palace, the only way was to put up such an application. The bronze doors opened slowly, and Luo Feng stepped in. Thereafter, the doors closed again. Let's begin. Luo Feng waved. At that moment, true treasures started appearing one after the other and floated about in midair. Then they drifted over to the stone plate in the center of the hall of the palace. Countless green threads of light were rising and moved to envelop the treasures in a winding manner. These true treasures were obtained by Luo Feng through his numerous battles, and in total, there was a total of 4 senior true treasures. These 4 senior true treasures will all be contributed, but I doubt they are enough. Luo Feng brooded over his contribution. Previously, when Luo Feng was thrown into the whirlpool by Craftsman Master and ended up in the land of extremis, he had killed Demon Sword Knight and obtained 2 true treasures, of which one was a senior true treasure. And when he came back from the Beast God sector and entered the original star for close to a year, he had killed several universe overlords and a large number of universe knights, thus obtaining a total of 4 senior true treasures. Killing Chen Yang Knight had also been very rewarding. Not only had he gained the Flowing Light Wings and Disambiguation Mirror Stone, but he also obtained an Attack Series True Treasures, Senior True Treasure Battle Armor and an Ordinary Domain Type True Treasure. However, his remote ocean body had taken 3 of the Senior True Treasures with him, so there were only 5 Senior True Treasures, including the 8 shuttles, which Luo Feng did not require at that moment. Keeping one of these 5 Senior True Treasures, the True Treasure Armor, Luo Feng contributed the other 4 to his race. Contributing 4 Senior True Treasures equaled only 52.1 True Treasure points, said Luo Feng. Still quite a fair distance from a top-tier True Treasure. Luo Feng gave a slight shake of his head. Then he started the exchange for True Treasure. 1 Flying Palace Type Ordinary True Treasure, the Wood Grain Boat, True Treasure of the Ground category, required 23 True Treasure points. 1 Ordinary Territory Type True Treasure, Numerous Worlds, required 18 True Treasure points. 1 Senior Blade Type Weapon, Bo He, which was something like the Ghost Blade, required 9 True Treasure points. A total of 3 True Treasures cost him 50 True Treasure points. In Primal Chaos City, at True Yang Knight's residence. Senior is back. Brothers. As Luo Feng walked within the mansion, he met with some fellow brothers who greeted him respectfully, but cautiously. They were cautious for 2 reasons. 1. Luo Feng had not spent much time with them on a long-term basis. 2. As disciples of True Yang Knight, they were all well informed. They knew that quite a fair number of several universe overlords had been annihilated by Luo Feng. Luo Feng simply smiled and returned the greetings in a leisurely manner. When he walked out of sight, the group of brothers immediately began a heated discussion. Brother Luo Feng is simply too powerful. Even universe overlords were annihilated by him. Doesn't that mean he is close to becoming a universe master? He has far surpassed our teacher. I believe the Hong Alliance Palace Master will have a place for Brother Luo Feng in future. Luo Feng could hear all the content of their discussions from afar, but he maintained his inner peace, staying still as undisturbed waters as he walked to where True Yang Knight resided. Teacher, Luo Feng said. He stood outside the door and waited. Come in. The doors opened automatically. True Yang Knight was seated at the far end of the table, which was laid out with a fine spread of food and wine. Teacher, said Luo Feng. This is some fine quality wine you have here. You must have spent quite a fortune. Luo Feng reached the table in 2 steps and sat across from True Yang Knight. He reached for a flat vessel containing some wine and took a close look. Is this the era-aged Zhigui wine? My disciple has gained such great fame among the 100 million races in the universe that there could be no one who has not heard of you, said True Yang Knight. Everyone sees you as a super being. If you were part of another race, you could lead the entire race with your power. You could go rampant roaming the universe. True Yang Knight caressed his golden beard. With a mildly triumphant tone, he continued, even a few universe overlords have been annihilated by my disciple. How is that not worth celebrating? At such a time, would I be so stingy over wine? Luo Feng blinked and said, Teacher, if you flatter me too much, I might fly off to Cloud 9. You are already capable of flying. True Yang Knight joked. This brought some warmth to Luo Feng. He felt as though he had gone back in time to the past. True Yang Knight was a very straightforward and candid character, and he would commonly jest with his disciples. He simply had no regard for social status. Aren't you going to drink? True Yang Knight filled his own glass. I am. Of course, I will, Luo Feng replied immediately. Ha ha. Come, let me fill your glass. I will help myself. Luo Feng and True Yang Knight drank and chatted about the recent happenings in the outside world. While Luo Feng had been spending time on cultivation recently, the outside world had undergone many great changes. You definitely gave the races of the universe a good scare this time around. True Yang Knight put down his wine glass and sighed. The rate of your growth was so fast that even I, as your teacher, was pretty shocked, let alone the other races. There is all kinds of news circulating around in the universe, saying that at the rate you are progressing, you'll likely attain Primal Chaos City Leaders level in the future. Spies from other races are all over. We have caught and killed a large number of spies. Some have tried to infiltrate Primal Chaos City, or even reach my very doorstep. True Yang Knight looked towards Luo Feng and continued, we have killed many of these spies, but the killing is never ending. It seems like the other races are no longer concerned about the price they have to pay. They would rather sacrifice the many spies they have sent out as they get exposed, and still search frantically for news about you. Oh? Luo Feng nodded slightly. All those spies who waited in ambush, said True Yang Knight. The loss for one is actually quite a sizable amount. Yet now, races are willing to lose them one after the other. I speculate that other races are already aware that you are cultivating in your god country. They are in the midst of locating the whereabouts of your god country. Bug soldiers, the automaton clan, demons. All of them are finding ways to enter the human territory to kill you. True Yang Knight paused, then warned, if it were not for them, there would be no rush at all. You have to be very careful. Ha! Luo Feng laughed. Teacher, let's not talk about this. I am well prepared for it. My purpose in coming here to see teacher today is for some other matter. With a wave of Luo Feng's hand, 3 true treasures instantly appeared and hung suspended in midair. They were an earth-yellow wooden boat, crystal ball, and a piece of black armor. The wooden boat was a flying palace-type true treasure. The crystal ball was a domain-type true treasure named Numerous Worlds. And the piece of black armor was a senior true treasure armor. With these 3 true treasures, True Yang Knight's survival ability would reach a new high. The only pity was that a soul-type ordinary true treasure would require at least 36 true treasure points. Luo Feng could not afford that amount. True Yang Knight got to his feet and looked at the 3 true treasures, stupefied. Teacher, I am going to leave the human territory on an adventure, Luo Feng said reverentially. If everything happens as I anticipate it will, some major bloodshed will likely take place. You are my teacher, so I am afraid trouble may find its way to you. These 3 true treasures may be helpful to you, so it is my hope that you will accept them. Luo Feng was worried that True Yang Knight might not accept the treasures because they were too valuable. So he did not reveal the actual value of these 3 true treasures. You want to leave the human territory? True Yang Knight was taken aback. Luo Feng nodded. Yes. He had to go claim Star Tower and obtain the 5th black metal board. Of course, he had to go. But you are aware that the automaton clan, bug soldiers, and demons alike. They are all looking to eliminating you, said True Yang Knight. Even if you are in the human territory, there are chances of assassination attempts. Yet you want to head out? Once you are out there, there are no human great beings who can give you timely protection. You will be exposed to danger. True Yang Knight started to panic at the thought. Yes, I am aware of that, said Luo Feng. This time, when I head out, there is bound to be a bloodbath. Luo Feng smiled. But please rest assured, teacher. He bowed slightly. I shall take my leave now. Turning around, Luo Feng took a step and vanished. True Yang Knight looked to where Luo Feng had vanished. He kept silent for a long time. He understood. Luo Feng had reached an even higher level. 3 true treasures. A universe overlord. 3 true treasures are all that he got. True Yang Knight thought these were ordinary true treasures, so with an extended finger, he shot out threads of godly power, and speedily penetrated the 3 true treasures. That very moment, a surge of information was transmitted. Flying Palace type, domain type, senior true treasure armor. This information had True Yang Knight rooted on the spot for a long while. He did not tell me, he whispered. He left immediately because he was worried I might accept these if I knew. This disciple of mine, inside the palace of Primal Chaos ruins. Luo Feng went to visit Primal Chaos City Leader after leaving the palace of True Yang Knight. He was not content with trading his disambiguation mirror stone for half the ownership of Earth. However, he knew that Primal Chaos City Leader was only one of the dozens of universe masters in the human race. Though he was powerful, he wasn't at huge axe creator's level. Besides, Primal Chaos City Leader had been guiding him patiently, and Luo Feng admired the character of his teacher. True Yang Knight and Primal Chaos City Leader had completely different personalities. True Yang Knight was frank and forthright, and he would do anything for those he cared about. When Luo Feng was chased by Bark Mirror Emperor, True Yang Knight went to fight him even though he wasn't sure whether he was going to win or not. As for Primal Chaos City Leader, he was responsible for the entire human race, and many important issues concerning the human race were determined by him. The rise and fall of the humans were all under his consideration. He had always been fair, and his principle was to put the race first when he was treating his disciples, which made Luo Feng respect him. Teacher? Luo Feng gave a salutation. Garnet armor with complex patterns and a scaled tail spread out from a set of battle gear. Under several fiery horns was a fierce face with engravings on it. It was another body of Primal Chaos City Leader. The eyes were broad like the sky and intimidating. "Why are you here to see me?" asked Primal Chaos City Leader. "I plan to leave the human territory, and I wanted to tell you before I left," answered Luo Feng. "Oh? It seems that you went to visit True Yang about this, too?" Primal Chaos City Leader nodded. He was the guard of the Primal Universe, which meant he knew everything going on in the Primal Universe. However, he hadn't eavesdropped on the conversation between Luo Feng and True Yang Knight. "Do you know how dangerous it is for you on the outside?" asked Primal Chaos City Leader. "I do." Luo Feng nodded. "The bug race, the demon race, and the automaton race all want me dead." "But you're still going out?" Primal Chaos City Leader continued. Luo Feng nodded. Primal Chaos City Leader nodded. "Then go. You're not weak in any aspect, which means you should be the one who makes all your own decisions. But remember, you're not only representing yourself. You're still representing your family and your Earthling bloodline. Just remember this." "Yes." Luo Feng nodded and bowed. "Then I'll leave now." "Go," Primal Chaos City Leader said, then added, "If you can't handle the danger by yourself, crush the keepsake I left you." Luo Feng nodded, and with the space ripple, he disappeared. Primal Chaos City Leader was left alone in Primal Chaos Ruins. "This disciple of mine manifests such power after hiding for almost 20,000 years, Primal Chaos City Leader thought. And now, he's leaving the human territory. He must have some peculiar experiences, and they happened at some place in the universe." Primal Chaos City Leader had figured this out a long time ago, but he wouldn't try to influence Luo Feng. From his perspective, if Luo Feng had remote ocean body, then even he was killed outside, he could easily resurrect himself. The true treasures would be the only things lost. Bug race, demon race, automaton race? Thought Primal Chaos City Leader. They would be desperate if they knew Luo Feng has a remote ocean body. All they can get is the true treasures he carries. Primal Chaos City Leader was confident. Although he was more proficient in close combat, he was also a master in souls, and in the Primal Universe, which was under his control, he could tell that Luo Feng's mind and willpower were already at the Universe Master level. Godly power determined minds. Minds affected willpower as well. After 180 million years of training and becoming a Universe Knight, Luo Feng's mind and willpower had already reached the Universe Master level. However, Primal Chaos City Leader was wrong about one thing. If those other races killed Luo Feng's body, they would get exceptional true treasures, Force Armor, Shawu Wings, and Beast God Armor. After leaving Primal Chaos City, Luo Feng first went back to his God Country. Then he went to Star Tower by God Country transportation. In the center palace of the Star Tower, the light started to dim. Luo Feng walked out. "Star Tower," Luo Feng said as he looked around the palace where he received life or death inheritance. "My godly power should be enough to drive Star Tower." The godly power on Luo Feng started to burn and spread along the ground. It went into the center of Star Tower like electricity, transferred to the pillars and seal stars. The burning godly power flowed like water in the river, channeled through the pillars and seal stars, however. Those engravings were too difficult, Luo Feng was only able to understand the easiest ones. After only a short while, the burning godly power merged with every inch of Star Tower. "Rise!" Luo Feng growled. Star Tower rose 8 inches and fell 8 inches slowly. Such a tiny ripple was imperceptible. Luo Feng took back his godly power, and the golden horned beast in the world ring started to transfer the godly power to his original Earthling body. "My original Earthling body is also a Universe Knight with a life gene level of 9,800 times, and it's strong enough to drive Star Tower. However, the godly power consumed is too much. If it weren't for the golden horned beast, That move would have consumed 30% of my godly body. My understanding of the engravings in Star Tower is too limited. He was able to drive it with his godly power if he wanted, but it consumed too much power. If he were able to fully comprehend the engravings, it would be much easier. Luo Feng left the center palace and started to wander through Star Tower. He went to various locations via the internal transportation. He couldn't even see the end of the heavenly pillars. Luo Feng perused the engravings on the heavenly pillars and couldn't help exclaiming, "Incredible! Even the simplest engravings are so amazing." The engravings in Star Tower are even more complex and complete than those of the miniature universe. No wonder it's a supreme true treasure. He walked around and saw the heavenly pillars and seal stars. He even went to tour the spaces in Star Tower where lots of other races were adventuring and fighting. Luo Feng was able to see the mysteries formed by those spaces. After 32 days of walking through Star Tower, Luo Feng went back to the center palace and sat down with his legs crossed. His consciousness was fully integrated with Star Tower, and all the engraving sculptures flooded his mind. He started to study them carefully. The deeper he understood those engravings, the more power he could wield. Mysterious. Complicated. Space, time, gold, wood, water, fire, ground, wind, lightning, and light. All law threads were mixed together perfectly, and they were 10,000 times more complicated than the miniature universe engraving picture. After all, the miniature universe only had a diameter of 6 billion miles while Star Tower was 9 light years tall. If the miniature universe was a small room, the Star Tower was a skyscraper comprised of countless small rooms. Fortunately, I'm on the engraving picture path, thought Luo Feng. Otherwise, it would take me forever to reach full comprehension if I only know of space lore and gold lore. He sat with his legs crossed for 3 years before he opened his eyes. Finally, he said, "I've finished understanding the first level of mysteries." However, after understanding the first level, Luo Feng better grasped how incredible Star Tower truly was. "I'm only able to fully comprehend the first level." He looked up at the center palace. It should be easier to drive now. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, and his godly power started to burn. Endless godly power immediately infused Star Tower, and the easiest engravings at the periphery were completely driven. Luo Feng felt much more comfortable. "I need to drive those warriors out before taking it back," he thought. Beings of different races were being driven out through the portals at the bottom, and millions of beings showed up outside Star Tower. They were all in shock. What happened? I was adventuring there, but I was driven out. Me too. Why did Star Tower drive us out? All the other races were astounded. This had never happened in all the time since Star Tower showed up in the outer domain battlefield. All of them had been driven out today? It was bizarre. Look. The 9 whirlpool nebulas disappeared. They disappeared. All the undying fighters were shocked to their very core. Look. Star Tower is shrinking. It's shrinking. Star Tower, which was 9 light years tall, was quickly contracting. After only a short while, it became half a mile tall, and then, it disappeared completely. Star Tower disappeared. How is that possible? Everyone was terrified. The news spread like wildfire. No one exaggerated anything this time, but the news that Star Tower had disappeared was thousands of times more shocking than Luo Feng killing a universe overlord. A supreme true treasure craved by billions of races in the universe had just vanished, the virtual universe, in the space belonging to huge Axe Creator. Amidst the darkness, flashes of starlight could be seen from afar where a plain-looking palace was suspended in the core of the dark space. There were long stone benches in front of the palace where figures were appearing out of nowhere, one after the other. In just a short time, many had arrived, including huge Axe Creator, Primal Chaos City Leader, and Deserted Mirror Master, who were all unable to conceal their shock expressions. "I believe everyone has heard," huge Axe Creator said, scanning his surroundings. "Star Tower has disappeared. We all just heard." How could Star Tower disappear? It has been standing firmly in the void space for an eternity. Even Universe Supreme Masters are unable to take it down by force, so how can it disappear so suddenly? This breaking news had all the higher-ups, even the most strong-hearted ones, in shock and disbelief. Look. Huge Axe Creator pointed far into space. A scene played before them in the faraway, dark sky. Star Tower was throwing millions of undying soldiers out of it, followed closely by the dispersion of the 9 whirlpool nebulas. Then Star Tower shrunk, teleported, and vanished from its spot. Undoubtedly, Primal Chaos City leader whispered, there must be some great being controlling Star Tower. That is how the undying fighters of various races could be thrown out of every plane of Star Tower within such a short time. This great being caused the 9 Whirlpool Nebulas to disperse and Star Tower to shrink and teleport away. But who? Who wields such power? Said a Universe Master wearing elegant, golden armor with purple engravings between his brows. Back then, the automaton race, the bug soldiers, the demons, and us, we all fought for this supreme true treasure that suddenly appeared. We fought and killed like crazy, yet in the end, all 4 pinnacle races were unable to do anything to Star Tower. Even when Huge Axe Creator entered personally, he too was unable to take Star Tower. Void Gold Master is right, someone else spoke up. Purely based on power, who could have done it? There was incessant chattering all over as the Universe Masters of the human race voiced their opinions. Huge Axe Creator nodded and said, we all have reached a consensus that purely based on power, it is indeed impossible to take Star Tower. After all, in the countless years that Star Tower has been out in the battlefield, not only have the 4 pinnacle races tried and failed, even other great powers of the universe like the Ancestral God School, the Space Beast Alliance, the Northern Territory Alliance, and some other weaker powers have all tried discreetly, but no one has succeeded. All the Universe Masters nodded. Including myself, added Huge Axe Creator. I'm afraid all of the Universe Supreme Masters have already tried. He shook his head. All have failed. With power alone, it is indeed impossible. Taking Star Tower requires an opportunity with a touch of luck. My guess is, a certain great being has gotten lucky and managed to take Star Tower in a stroke of good fortune. Many true super beings in the universe have been trying since long, long ago but have not succeeded. This time, the one who has managed to take Star Tower must be a very powerful being. A weakling? An undying? Universe Knight? Universe Masters instantly started shouting. Regardless of who he is, so long as he can control Star Tower, he is no weakling. Huge Axe Creator scanned everyone. Hiding within Star Tower? Even I cannot achieve that. The other Universe Masters nodded with envy in their eyes. Star Tower was a supreme true treasure, indeed. Even a pinnacle race like the humans did not have a supreme true treasure to reign dominance. Every supreme true treasure had unbelievably strong power, to the extent of having strange characteristics. Universe Supreme Masters coveted them, but Universe Supreme Masters were very rare. There were only a few of them. However, there was still a number who did not possess any supreme true treasures. Huge Axe Creator, for one, did not own any. We must get to the bottom of it. Huge Axe Creator ordered, make use of the resources from my Hong Alliance and conduct a thorough search for information. We must get to the bottom of the matter. Whose hands have Star Tower fallen into? If he is a weakling, then he won't be able to hide inside Star Tower forever. We can still find the chance to take Star Tower from away him or even find out how he managed to control it. Yes, sir. Yes. All the Universe Masters accepted his order. Huge Axe Creator emphasized with solemnity, we humans lack such a supreme true treasure. We must find a way to get it. In the universe that belonged to automaton race, a voice representing the noblest being of the automaton race sounded and was transmitted to every corner. My children, go look into it. Find out who has taken Star Tower. Even if he has the supreme true treasure, he will not be able to hide inside Star Tower forever. If he is a weakling, we definitely have a chance to take Star Tower away from him. Yes, Father God. Yes, Father God. All Universe Masters of automaton race received the order. In the vast, starry sky, a giant being whose body was entirely covered with black scales made a gradual appearance. The surroundings within a radius of a few light years instantly fell into a world of endless, dark flames, and within this area, all levels of stars seemed to disintegrate into nothing and vanish from sight. This towering presence was all that existed. How long since I have been back in the Primal universe, said the figure. How familiar it feels. This is my homeland. If not for Star Tower, I cannot imagine how long it would have taken for me to make it back here from Universe Ocean. Back then, I was unable to take Star Tower away. Yet there was some fellow in the Primal universe who actually succeeded. I must find Star Tower and find that fellow. I must find out how he controlled Star Tower. If not for the lack of a supreme true treasure, would I have been defeated by that old beast god from the Space Beast Alliance? The figure in black scales moved slowly. It vanished into thin air. The top 9 powers in the universe were all eager to take action, as a supreme true treasure was simply too tempting. Even the few great beings who were universe supreme masters that roamed about as loners had taken action, let alone the universe masters who had clans under their leadership. There were some clans with merely one universe master. Those were the ones who greatly desired to own the Star Tower. If I manage to get the Star Tower, then I won't even have to fear universe supreme masters. By that time, my tamer race will have hopes of being a pinnacle race. The shocking news of the human known as Luo Feng killing a universe overlord was nothing compared to the breaking news that the supreme true treasure, Star Tower, had disappeared. It was enough to shake the foundation of a pinnacle race. Star Tower was the most precious existence within the entire universe. With hundreds of billions of people from various clans looking for it, those who had been concerned about Luo Feng dwindled in number. Even if there were any, they were most likely the most persistent ones among the demons, automaton race, and bug soldiers, so keen on eliminating Luo Feng that they would never let their guard down. Ancestral God's secret region, Redbud Island. The commotion that arose from the disappearance of Star Tower caused quite a stir, thought Luo Feng. The excitement has boiled over. Luo Feng appeared at Redbud Island in the residence that belonged to him. This was the 3rd day since he had taken Star Tower, and since then, he had been following everything that happened on the outside through the virtual universe. All was turmoil. The Hong Alliance's universe masters and all those undying beings who had made their way to the battlefields were engaged in heated discussion. And that was only within the Hong Alliance. There were also other powers in the universe, but through the information being disseminated within the Hong Alliance, it could be seen that everyone had gone mad over this news. No wonder Sitting Mountain guest teacher strictly commanded me not to divulge the news about Star Tower, Luo Feng thought. He was appalled. If I had been exposed, and the outside world found out I could control Star Tower, teacher Sitting Mountain guest alone would certainly not be able to protect me. Luckily, I can protect myself now, so I can make a foothold independently in this turbulent universe. He took a step forward, opened the doors of his mansion, and flew off in the direction of the palace in front of the public square where the island master of Redbud Island resided. Look, it's Luo Feng. It's the human, Luo Feng. He is back on Redbud Island. It has been 200,000 years since he last appeared. Luo Feng has power that matches that of a top-tier universe overlord, so rarely coming to Redbud Island is nothing strange at all. There were many cultivators from various races on Redbud Island, and this discussion started when a team of candidates spotted him while they were flying. Luo Feng, on the other hand, was flying toward the public square. Passing through the water curtain of a fountain, he arrived at the Land of Inheritance. There were clearly a great many opportunities for inheritance. A while later, Luo Feng made his exit and flew directly back to his mansion. There, Luo Feng stayed in isolation for 5 days before he once again made his way to the Land of Inheritance to accept his share. Retreat. Inherit. Retreat. Inherit. Almost every other day, Luo Feng would enter once to accept his inheritance. This quickly aroused the attention of many cultivators on Redbud Island. There were many such discussions about this. After all those battles that Luo Feng welcomed with untamed abandon, he has since earned a humongous amount of opportunities for inheritance. But even if he has that many opportunities, is there a need to be so wasteful? Without feeling what it's like to undergo cultivation, accepting all those inheritances would be totally pointless. What a waste. However, Luo Feng simply paid no heed to all the things others were saying, shaking his head to himself. I am highly accomplished in the studies of pictures of secret engravings and can comprehend by analogy. Every time I make my way in to accept my inheritance, I can quickly comprehend a large quantity of content pertaining to the beast god path. How fast is my speed of cultivation? Without the ability to comprehend, a beast god inheritance would mean nothing. Yet Luo Feng was able to feel and comprehend a large amount of information because he was highly accomplished in the studies of pictures of secret engravings, so every time he went for another round of inheritance, he would be able to make additional progress. After all, in terms of level, Luo Feng had already created a technique that matched the level of an ultimate technique of a universe master. With the heart of beast god, he had attained an extremely high level of comprehension, so naturally, accepting the beast god path was a piece of cake. Once every 5 days, he would accept one beast god inheritance. When he was only at his 3rd round of inheritances, Luo Feng could already grasp full comprehension of the 4th stage of the beast god path. It was like a university student studying doing elementary school homework. There was also, inheriting, a rapid method to boost the speed of comprehension. However, He was much slower in progressing at the 5th stage of the Beast God path. Bug soldiers, demons, and members of the automaton race were all racking their brains in search of a solution. Hurry! Report to the race. Luophone is here on Redbud Island. That annoying Luophone. The guts he has to come here to Redbud Island. If you want to kill Luophone, you would have to get a Universe Master involved. However, the moment any of our Universe Masters showed up at Redbud Island, they will be annihilated right away by the 5-color Aurora Lake. As for us, we do not even own the qualifications or the rights to enter the island. If we are disguised within the human territory, we could still have a shot. But given the ancestral god school's power, which is much stronger than that of humans, if Luophone decides to hide on Redbud Island, there is really nothing we can do. Luophone remained on Redbud Island, cultivating at his leisure. My golden horned beast body has gone through 2 months of traveling among the stars. It has finally arrived at the destination of the 5th black metal board. Luophone revealed a trace of a smile. This video will end here.